Gitz players, welcome back. I just found out that they released some news upon the Gloomspite Gitz and the upcoming Battletome. So we will go through what the news says, and then I will have my thoughts on what I think that will do to the army. With that said, it's also very difficult to know since we don't really know what the updates will be. If it will be mostly just a copy and paste of the latest battle scrolls, or if it will be a huge difference this time. But since there is also coming a bunch of new models, that will be interesting to see what type of armies we will have. And so to start this off, the Bad Moon will go from having the effect, the static effect, you can say, to this type of cycle. If you ever played Magickin of Nurgle, it kind of resembles that, but in a just 4 steps rather than, I think it was 6 or no, it was 7, I think, steps. And they call it different stuff. So first off, we should know this, that if you're the only Gitz player, then you will declare where this will start. If it will start here at Grinnin, or if it will start at Sulkin, etc. And then it would just move clockwise after that. So for every battle round. And what they do, so what the different things do, that is what has changed now. So to go through that, we will have, this is the ability then. So this is the passive ability. So for the non-Squig Moonclan units, while the Bad Moon is either a Cacklin or a Grinnin, you add 5 to the control scores. Which is like, I don't know. Yeah, that's in one way better than before, but it also, it has to be on those 2 rounds, right? So this one and this one, which is a big change. But we're coming to how you can mitigate that. So after that, we have the Sneaky Snarlfangs. So friendly Git mob. So this is interesting as well, because the Git mobs will be some of the newer units that will come into play, like these. Which will be very interesting to see what they can do. So what they will be affected during the Sulkin or Cacklin period, or the moon state, and then those units can charge and shoot, even if they used retreat ability in the same turn. I would say like this is just like under the light of the Bad Moon. It affects the whole map. Yeah, it has to be like that. And then the last one, the Moonlit Hide. So if the Bad Moon is Grinnin or Scowlin, subtract 1 from the rend characteristics of combat attacks that target friendly Troggoths units. So if you see my previous video, you know, like at this state of the game and with this meta, I'm a big fan of the Rock Guts. So for me, this one is I mean, to subtract 1 from rend is basically subtracting, or like having +1 save. So I think that's good, and you can still do the all-out defense. So to me, that's it's not a big deal. That's decent. But the thing with it only being in these phases is difficult. Although, since now, I assume this now, since now it affects the whole battlefield, it also changes up the game on how you play. So you have to like figure out like when to engage with the Rock Guts, for example, if you play Rock Guts as I do, because you want to time it with this, because that's very powerful for their survivability. But so here we come to an interesting part. and also a sad part, I think, because they replace it. Well, it's both good and bad. They replaced the sneaky distraction spell that used to be, let's see, this one, where you pick a friendly Gloomspite Gitz wizard to cast a spell, and then you roll 2d6 as usual, casting a value of 7, and until the start of the next turn, or your next turn, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by enemy units while they are wholly within 12 of the caster. So the bad thing about this spell, I think, is that it's kind of difficult because it's like wholly within 12 of the caster and the enemy units that are wholly within. And people usually, or like a lot of times I've seen people get that wrong. I got it wrong the first time I played it as well. So I thought it was my own units, not the opponent's units. But that also so once the opponent know that, they just measure the 12, and then they stay outside of that. And it's also since it's wholly within, they can just stay outside with 1 unit. And the difficult part about it is that you have to have the caster very upfront, and then they're very vulnerable. So they will replace this spell, and they will replace it with this one, Bad Portents. So what they do is that, or what you do is casting value of 6, and then you roll 2d6 as usual, get the value above 6 or 6 or above, and then you roll a die. If you succeed, you roll the die, and on a 1 to 2, nothing happens. On a 3 to 5, the face of the bad moon moves to the next round, and on a 6, you get to pick the new face for this battle round, and then I assume that it will continue clockwise from that instead. So 3 to 5, say it's here, or it's supposed to move there, then it moves. You cast a spell, it moves another time. If you get a 6, you can choose, if you wanted to go back there or whatever. So that will be very powerful, and to me, getting that off is very likely. Malevolent Moon, that haven't really come to use that much for me. I put it out, but in some magical way, I managed to get the bad moon in the center and keep it there while it matters. Or I keep my Trogs in the corners where the moon currently is, or next to the what is it called? The faction terrain. Forgot the name of it. Anyways, what they've done with this now is that while friendly Gloomspite Gitz units are held within 12 of this manifestation, they are affected by all 4 phases of the bad moon at the same time, which makes put this next to the Troggoths, and they're always under the light of the bad moon in that sense. So they always have -1 to rend for people who attack them, which is very good. So this will be much better than it is right now, I think, because it's good right now if you don't manage to have your units under the light of the bad moon. But I think this is an improvement for this spell, and I think you will see it more often now. And yeah, that was that with this news. I'm curious to know if there are any other Gloomspite Gitz players out there, or any players of Age of Sigmar that have any take on this. What do you think will happen to this? Do you think it will be a lot of different armies? Because that was one thing that I was thinking about. Once the new models come out, and thinking that the moon loops around, maybe you want something that is good both at Grinnin and Scowlin, for example, the Troggoths, and something that's good over here. So maybe you want more diversity in your army to max out the effect of this. But then again, some of the for example, 5 to the control scores might not be like the most important thing, depending on how you play. And also like the charge and shoot, even if they retreated, might not be super important as well. I would say still, like I still think that the Moonlit Hide is the best one out of these. But yeah, I'm curious to see. It's exciting news for the Gitz coming up with the Battletome and the new models that are coming out. So I think there will be a lot of speed. I think there will be the launcher is pretty interesting as well to see what that do. If it's just splash damage to infantry models, or if it's if you can like center or target it, for example, like blow up a monster with it. Could be both. It's difficult to say because you can imagine it tumbling around, or you can imagine it just like smashing into a model and making a lot of damage. So the news, I would say, like in total, if I summarize this, it's not like it makes the game a bit easier. Because as I said earlier, I think the Sneaky Distraction was kind of confusing. It was very good. If you manage to get it, like get your units or your wizards that cast it, hold it within 12 of other units, and playing with the rockets, you could usually like screen your wizard off a bit and have them up front, and yeah, and then you can have great use of this one. But so now I forgot to mention one important thing. The Skragrott. So this will obviously change. You will be able to decide where the Bad Moon, or what state the Bad Moon will be in with this ability now instead. So you can choose for it to go back to Grinnin, for example. I will probably do that. And that also makes Skragrott still, as of now, almost an auto-include in my list. I still think that his own spell is very, very good, thanks to the Bad Moon. If you haven't tried it out, if you play a list with Gloomspite Gitz and haven't tried this one out, try it out. It for me, like at least once a game, I'll get it off. Sometimes 2 times a game, and it can make a huge difference. And I think this one is meh. Not that I use it that much. It's yeah, it's decent, but it's not like I'm not using it very much. Although being able to do this and go back to so when this moon goes out to Sulkin, to put it back to Grinnin, but that makes like, so say you start off here, first turn, the Trogs will not be in battle the first turn, depending on how you play. Next turn, you go here, they're under the light of the Bad Moon. Turn 3, still under the light of the Bad Moon. And turn 4, you use Skragrott's ability. That's saying he's still alive. Going back to Grinnin, and then you have a turn 4 and 5, still under the light of the Bad Moon. Although, I would also say, since I usually manage to stay alive very well with my Trogs, maybe I would be able to start here and actually just go up with my army and then have turn 1, 2, go back, 3, 4, and then 5. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, this was a longer video than I expected it to be, because there is not that much news, but I managed to talk a lot about it. Some fun info. This week this weekend I will go to Nyköping and play a tournament, team tournament, and I will play with some really, really good players from Umeå, my hometown. I'm glad he invited me, but I will also say that I am a wild card for them. So it's a bit of a gamble to include me, since I haven't played that much Age of Sigmar. But the games I played have been good. I only lost one so far. And that doesn't say much because you don't know how many I played. But the tournament will be a 2-day tournament, and we'll play 5 games each, and they will be some kind of you get to choose a little bit like who goes up to what opponent. So that will be an interesting way of playing. I haven't tried that before. The players I'm playing with is Ronja. If you're if you know the elite players of the game, you know Ronja. Very, very good player. Usually ends up in the top at all tournaments, even in the World Cup. And also Alexis, another really, really good player, also usually ends up in the top of the tournaments. And the last one is Anton, that I used to play football with, and maybe that is why he wanted to include me, because yeah, I guess so. Maybe he likes me. I hope so, because we're gonna share bed as well, which will be interesting. He is also a good player. I will say it feels like he has been up and coming for a long time. But then again, like, he also plays a lot of different games, a bunch of different games, not only Age of Sigmar. And he also tries out new armies. He doesn't just stick with one. Yeah. And the last Fnatic that was here in Umeå, I like one of the biggest tournaments up here. We met in I think it was the third game or the second game. No, it was the third game, I think. No, maybe it was the second game. Don't remember. I won, but it was a tight game, and I had some luck in that game as well. I think that he would expect him to win that game. I also met him the last Fnatic before that, and I also won that time. So maybe I'm a difficult matchup for him. Anyways, let's go back to what we were talking about. The Gloomspite Gitz, amazing army. Let's pray to the let's pray to the moon at this point, that the Battletome will be good, and that we will get great War Scroll updates. And for me, like, I'm just happy if we're in the middle section. We don't have to be the best army, but I would hope for us not to be the worst army, and I would hope for the spiders to get resurrection, because they suck. You can't really do much with the spiders. And I will also hope that the new models will come to use, and that they will be something that people want to have in their list. To be honest, I would also like the Troggoths maybe to be not as good, or other units to be a bit better. Because as I said in the earlier video, if you haven't checked that out, where I talk about different lists with the Gitz, they are just like always an auto include for me, the Troggoths, and you at least put 12 in there. You can have different lists that can work out as well, and you can probably win a lot of games. But like right now, the Troggoths they're too good not to have, I would say. Anyways, until next time, and also let me know if there's something else you want me to cover. Just comment down below. I got some response on my last video, which is very fun, because that makes me want to make more videos. So yeah, help a gamer out. Talk to you soon. Hopefully it will not take as long for the next update. Yeah. Bye.